So hi everybody, my name is Pachi and I'm today here to talk about what is learning public and why we should care and why I'm talking about it. And I'm gonna share about my personal journey because I believe that for DevRel, storytelling is the best way to do things. So I'm Pachi. I am a DevRel engineer in New Relic. I'm a co-founder and streamer in the Feminist Tech, that is a Brazilian community of women and non-binary people that do technological content, mostly streaming on Twitch, but we're expanding for all kind of content creation. And I'm Xian's mom. Xian is this beautiful black cat that woke me up at 3 a.m. today to get food because he really thought that 3 a.m. was the time to get food. So yes, thanks Xian for the beautiful morning present. So what is learning in public? And if you never hear the term, you might think it does mean that I get my laptop and I just go to a park and sit there and learn. Yes, but no, like you need the public. So if that was one thing that we learned in the last 2 years with everything going on, is that we had to build communities and you can always rely on going person meetups. And I feel like all this online bond of the last year, we connected to so many people all over the planet. If they have internet connection, we are connected now more than ever. So learning public is you're sharing what you're learning in a social media. Like for Twitter, for example, they have 100 days of code hashtag that is very popular. It's just you be very honest and very open and really expose yourself without fear. Like, you don't, the difference from learning public and just teaching in public is that you are sharing your content from a place of learner. So you're not an expert. Hey, I am new in this and I'm learning. And here's what I learned. And drink water, people. It's very important. So how did I start? I started learning to code 3 years ago. And I was doing, the community taught journey, just doing tutorials online. After 6 months, I started my Twitter account and I was following some people. Then in the summer of 2019, I found out about Codeland. There's a conference for code newbies. They happen in New York or used to. And I got a scholarship. So like, yes, I live in New Jersey, so going to New York wasn't bad. And there I saw a talk by Alice Patel where she talked about why I should start blogging. And I did. And that was my first way of sharing content, of learning public. Here's a piece of my very first blog post. You can see it's from June 2019. And that was just me sharing how I was feeling. Is it still on dev.to if you could go there? It's just me venting. Like, I'm learning to code. It's hard. And I don't know if I can do it. And that's the most special piece of learning public is being vulnerable. Being vulnerable makes it all special, makes it all worth it, and makes people connect with you. So after that, I started blogging, engaging with other writers in the community. I started engaging more on Twitter. I made several friends on Twitter and people that I never met in person, but if you go to them and say, hey, what do you know about Pachi? They're going to tell you that Pachi is awesome. And I will tell you the same about them. Just for sharing, just for learning public together. And last year, I started streaming on Twitch, live code. That's my passion. I love the community I built there. I love the people that hang out with me there. And that's my favorite place to learn in public. Even though I get distracted too much with people chatting with me. And sometimes I just like talk about careers or life. But it's fun. So this is my journey. That's how I got into DevRel, right? I didn't even know what DevRel was by the beginning of last year. But once I found out what it was and I saw all my passions of content and community, I say, hey, I want to do DevRel. So if you are starting or you want to start in DevRel, a learning public is awesome. So why does it matter? Why should you start to consider this learning public thing? The first and foremost thing is build connections. And I believe that networking just takes you so far, right? Networking is great to get to know people, you have connections, but they're not as deep as building relationships. That's what you do. We can do with public learning because you're coming down the pedestal. You're not like a celebrity. You're not like a famous person. You're not a DevRel with 10 years in the field. You're somebody I'm learning, and everybody else that's learning too, they're gonna connect with you, right? That's why you have to be humble and you have to be open and be honest with what you're learning. You can also keep track of your growth. And this happens, we all in tech, we have imposter syndrome. It's just real. And especially in the beginning of the career. I know that lots of us, we start learning to code or whatever you're learning. And in a year, like, I didn't learn anything. But if you are like learning public, you're documenting your journey. Then if you go back to what you wrote like a year ago, what you knew a year ago, and be compared to what you know now, you're probably going to be like, oh, okay, wait, I actually learned a lot. So it helps us to keep track of where we are going, where you have been in your growth. You had the chance to inspire people. And not inspire like your favorite actors inspire you. Inspire in a more real level. Like I'm learning. Right now, I'm learning public. That's my first talk on DevRelCon. I have given lots of talks in Portuguese. That's my first talk in English. And that's my first talk about this topic. So I'm learning right now and I'm having fun. I'm enjoying myself. And maybe I'm inspiring somebody to do the same. That happens a lot with my live coding stream. Often I have some woman come to me, hey, I saw you streaming. I never saw a woman streaming before, especially code. How do I get started? Even how I get started programming. So you can inspire people because you are real and they really relate to you. You guys start creating content that, if you're in DevRel, if you want to be in DevRel, creating content is needed. It's something that we do, even not realizing it. And it might be a blog post or a tweet, a thread on Twitter or a YouTube video. But you start creating some content. So if you're looking for a first DevRel job, you can get that, your learning public journey, and say, hey, that's what I've been doing. That's the community I'm building. And last but not least, that's a piece that I find quite important. That's community versus audience. I have 5,000 followers on Twitter, right? They're all my audience. But from those 5,000 people, maybe 50 are my community. What does that mean? My entire audience consumes what I say, and that's great. But I don't know them in a personal level. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know who they are. They are my audience. They are there to listen to me, right? When you have a community, that's what you can build with learning public. You get to know people. It's a two-way road. They consume your content, you consume their content back, and you learn together. My current job, I learned because of that. A friend of mine, Ciara, she was interviewing for this position, and she wasn't a good fit. So she's like, hey, check out Pachi. And we are just friends that we commenting each other things on Twitter. We just hang out on Twitter. We don't even have like deep one-on-one conversations. But I know the kind of person that she is just by this time I have been following her on Twitter. And the same, like you don't refer somebody to a job without you really trusting that person, because that drags your name to the mud. So this is the kind of connections that you can build, because learning public helps you to be real, to share what you're learning, and to connect with people. And having an audience, let's go back a second. Having an audience is not bad. It's great. It's awesome. Like I'm not gonna lie, I love when I see my Twitter followers going up and like lots of likes on my stuff. And we need both, especially like if you want to be, we don't need followers for DevRel, but if you want to be like relevant, both are good. But focus on the community, and your audience is gonna grow. So how do you do that? It's actually pretty straightforward. What are you learning right now? I know you're learning something. We are always learning something. Just get a piece of paper and write down. Last night, I started learning Flutter. Why? I don't know. I just really felt like learning a mobile language, and Flutter seems cool. So I started learning Flutter. I'm also learning JavaScript. I'm always learning JavaScript. Like my entire life. Always. I'm never going to learn JavaScript. Nor React. But I keep trying. And I'm currently learning about diversity and inclusion. That's a topic that I'm really passionate right now. Actually, if you have any good material on that, please send me on Twitter. So yes, get a list of that. And now you're going to choose a platform you like. It can be Twitter. Twitter is a great place because any form of writing content has a lower bar because you don't expose yourself as much as a video. It can be dev.to is a great blogging platform for devs. It can be TikTok if you're into that. So choose a platform you're more comfortable. For me, it's always Twitter and Twitch. That's the places I'm more comfortable, that I love it, that I have good people that always give me good feedback. And if you're learning some code stuff on Twitter, I always recommend the 100 Days of Code hashtag. You can connect to people. Don't just go and post your stuff there. Just click on that and see what other people are posting and engage with them. It's really cool to see and follow what people are doing. And they don't have to do the 100 days without a break. Some people say you do, but I don't believe that because, we can't get sick and things happen. So just stop it when you feel like it and go back to the number you stop. Just don't stop for too long. But yes, you just learn something. I love Twitter for this because you just have to summarize what I learned today. Like yesterday, I was on Flutter and they learned that the Android Studio has this very cool thing that you can make any phone an emulator of any cell phone on your computer, and that's super cool. And it can be that. It can start like that. No, you just grow and get more mature in your ideas and your learning as you go. And the content, that doesn't matter. The point that you're coming from a place as a learner. You're not an expert. You're not a person that people going to go to learn that topic. Like nobody going to come to me to learn Flutter. But other people that learn Flutter, they're going to relate with me and you can have a conversation. And learning public has to be fun. And I don't mean, whoa, let's party and it's awesome. No, if you know how to code, that's frustrating. Gosh, I fight with React every single day of my life. But you have to enjoy yourself. There's a difference when you're doing something that's challenging and drives you wild, and something that's challenging but you're like enjoying yourself. And maybe you say you decided to do TikToks, but then you're not that comfortable with the video format, and that's okay. You can just stop. Go to Twitter, go right. That's why I think it's important to find media that suits you. It can just be find a Discord channel that has nice people. Find a community, and I even share super public as an open social media, but doing a smaller group. But the point is having fun. If you're having fun, you're automatically being authentic. People can see that. And you don't create content for when you learn in public. You're not creating content. You're not sharing for the other people. The other people is a bonus, is an extra. You're learning for yourself. You're learning for your growth, for your portfolio, for your journaling. And other people are going to automatically learn from you. If you're in DevRel for a while, we always say that, don't be afraid that people don't need your content or has been done 1,000 times. So I'm going to repeat it here. You're going to say, hey, but I have like 10,000 people talking about React. It doesn't matter. You're learning React right now. So just share your journey, what you're learning. Sometimes just your way of wording stuff is more helpful than other people's ways. Like before, when I started learning JavaScript, I had to try like 4 different instructors because my brain just didn't really process the way that some people talk. So I had to find the right person. And that's what I had for you today. I hope you enjoy. I'm Pachi Codes everywhere, especially Twitter. I love Twitter. And I'm always learning public. Now I'm learning Flutter, apparently. I'm enjoying that so far. So I'm always talking about DevRel stuff and learning. And that's what I have for you today. So thank you so much for watching.